As part of the 1929 International Exposition in Barcelona, Spain, the Barcelona Pavilion designed by Mies van der Rohe was the display of architecture's modern movement to the world. Originally named the German Pavilion, it was the face of Germany after World War I, emulating the nation's progressively modern culture that was still rooted in its classical history. After several architectural triumphs in Germany, Mies was commissioned to design the German Pavilion for this exposition in Barcelona. The pavilion was intended to be the face of the German section that would host King Alfonso XIII of Spain and German officials on the inauguration of the exposition. Unlike other projects, Mies understood his pavilion simply as a building and nothing more. It would not house art or sculpture. Rather, the pavilion would be a place of tranquility and escape from the expo, in effect transforming the pavilion into an inhabitable sculpture itself. Situated at the foot of the National Art Museum of Catalonia and Montjuïc, the Barcelona Pavilion resides on a narrow site in a quiet, tucked-away corner secluded from the bustling city streets of Barcelona. Raised on a plinth of travertine, the Barcelona Pavilion separates itself from its context, creating atmospheric and experiential effects that seem to occur in a vacuum that dissolves all consciousness of the surrounding city. The pavilion's design is based on a formulaic grid system developed by Mies that not only serves as a pattern for the travertine pavers, but it also serves as an underlying framework that the wall systems work within. By raising the pavilion on a plinth in conjunction with the narrow profile of the site, the Barcelona Pavilion has a low horizontal orientation that is accentuated by the low flat roof that appears to float over both the interior as well as the exterior. The low stature of the building narrows the visitor's line of vision, forcing one to adjust to the views framed by Mies. When walking up onto the plinth, one is forced under the low roof plane that captures the adjacent outdoor court, as well as the interior moments that induce circulation throughout the pavilion. The interior consists of offset wall places that work with the low roof plane to encourage movement, as well as activate Mies's architectural promenade, where framed views would induce movement through the narrow passage that would open into a large volume. This cyclical process of moving throughout the pavilion sets in motion a process of discovery and rediscovery during one's experience, always offering up new perspectives and details that were previously unseen. All of this further reassures Mies's understanding of the pavilion as just a space and nothing more, because if we were to see it as a house, for example, the conflicting nature of the quest for private space versus the open-plan, free-moving space of the pavilion would turn that building into the house you can't get in, given that every time you follow the passages you think are getting you into an inside space, they just get you outside again. Every aspect of the Barcelona Pavilion has architectural significance that can be seen at the advent of modern architecture in the 20th century. However, one of the most important aspects of the pavilion is the roof. The low profile of the roof appears in elevation as a floating plane above the interior volume. The appearance of floating gives the volume a sense of weightlessness that fluctuates between the enclosure and canopy. The roof structure is supported by 8 slender cruciform columns that allow the roof to as effortlessly float above the volume while freeing up the interior to allow for an open plan. With the low roof projecting out over the exterior and openness of the pavilion, there is a blurred spatial demarcation where the interior becomes an exterior and the exterior becomes interior. Again, the building you just can't get in. In addition to the design, the materials are what give the Barcelona Pavilion its true architectural essence, as well as the ethereal and experiential qualities that the pavilion embodies, because as Mies said, God is in the details. Case in point, when asked where were Germany's colors in the pavilion, Mies pointed at the carpet for the black, the curtains for the red, and the marble wall for the yellow. Details hidden to a careless eye, but gently placed to identify Germany. Mies went on to great heights. Alongside Le Corbusier, Frank Lloyd Wright, and Alvar Aalto, he has long been considered one of the masters of 20th century modern architecture. Since then, young architects have been adopting his rational architecture around the world, spreading the message that, as he famously said, less is more.